Welcome to the Wanderers Rugby Club, yet another exciting week of the Castle Pirates Grand Challenge. It is yet another exciting encounter. My name is Aaron Masamola, and I'm joined by the man who's won a Junior Rugby World Cup with the Junior Springboks. His name is Fabian Boyson. Fabian, another afternoon of Club Rugby. How excited are you in terms of the crowd that we're seeing this afternoon?
Thank you once again. Like you said, we're at a magnificent venue this afternoon once again for another round in the backdrop of DP World Wanderers Stadium. So magnificent setting. Two teams eager to get the first win on the board. So, and from what we've seen from the third and the second team, some physical encounters. So I think we're in for a treat this afternoon.
Most certainly, you talk about a physical battle that lies ahead this afternoon. The home team, the Wanderers, they are taking on the Diggers. Let's do a little bit of analysis in terms of these two teams that we are seeing this afternoon. Unfortunately, both teams have struggled this season. The Diggers, they find themselves at the bottom of the log. They're currently 9th on the log standings, and the Wanderers are just above them in terms of 8th position. Let's start off with the home team. They're currently 8th. They've had 3 weeks off, and that's a team that will be looking to make quite a big impact playing at home, looking for their first victory in front of their home crowd this season. In terms of their position on the log, of course, when you are 8th, the team is a little bit discouraged. You played 3 games, 3 losses, but this could be a big opportunity for them to turn their season around, Fabian.
I think, Aaron, the biggest thing there is as an opportunity, massive opportunity. They've played 3 games. We're in week 7, so there's still a lot of rugby for them to be played. They can definitely turn it around from this point in time where they are. So they might be a bit discouraged. They haven't had the results to really push them this season. But this afternoon, prime opportunity for them to get themselves on the winning side of things and really restart their season.
You talk about the winning side of things. Unfortunately, in their last encounter, they played against Alberton, the Ealander, a team that we know quite well, a team that's currently quite strong in this competition. Unfortunately, being beaten with a 38 to 20 point scoreline, pardon me, in that encounter. In terms of some of the changes that you'll want to see the Wanderers bringing in to this encounter against the Diggers this afternoon.
Yeah, look, we know that Ealander is a formidable outfit, so obviously their defense is going to be crucial again this afternoon. They showed that against the Ealander. 1 or 2 slip-ups, crucial penalties that they conceded in the wrong area of the field, and they got penalised for that. And the Ealander made them pay heavily for that. So I think this afternoon for them, a clinical performance, playing in the right areas of the field, making sure they convert points, and discipline is going to be crucial for them this afternoon.
Most certainly. Let's shift the focus to the visiting team here at the Wanderers. That is the Diggers, the team that we've had the opportunity to watch quite closely this season. We've had 2 matches to actually analyze the squad. In terms of the big talking point for this young team, of course, they're moving from the 2nd division. They're moving up into the 1st division in terms of the Castleaga Pirates Grand Challenge. Their season hasn't necessarily gone according to plan, losing 6 matches so far. They've brought in a change. I mean, Jordan is their new coach. In terms of his impact on the squad, what have you seen in the last few matches when he has been brought in?
I think the biggest thing is you've mentioned we've been fortunate to see them or follow their journey throughout this campaign. Most influential thing that we've seen is that first week of Jordan being involved in the game, in the squad, there was a turnaround in their defense. They actually gave Wits quite a good run that first 10 minutes, and that they continued through. I mean, they only lost 31 points to 5 against Raiders, who we know is also a contender for the title in the competition. So Jordan's impact has really shown, and you can see that amongst the players, most notably so in his changes this week for the squad. Their regular captain, Richard Graaf, has moved from hooker to 8. Second team hooker has stepped up, and he's really utilised that opportunity. So it's going to be very interesting to see how they go this afternoon. We've seen how the change from Nick Hubert on fullback moving to fly half, what dividends that has received for the team. So I do think we're in for a treat, and his presence has been felt, so it's going to be a good one.
Most certainly. Let's touch on Richard Graaf, their skipper. One of the areas that we have identified throughout the season where they have been lacking a little bit is set plays, especially lineouts. He was the man who was vital in terms of lineouts. He's now, of course, changing his position. But of course, being the leader of the squad, he will want to make an impact and encourage his lads to take advantage when they have those opportunities. Maybe some of the areas that you will be watching quite closely, the scrums are vital, lineouts are vital.
No, scrum's vital, lineout's vital. So what for me is going to be very interesting is to see the transition for Richard Graaf. He's been a leader, he's been phenomenal in the loose play. Set phases, he has struggled a bit, and that has cost his team. So relieving that pressure from him, bringing in an additional hooker who can take ownership of that, he's got more ability to now roam the field, take control with Nick Hubert, really manage the team. So that's going to be a real aspect this afternoon that I'm going to be interested in looking at. How does he control the game, manage his troops, and making sure that they have enough and get the resources in the right areas of the field, and then getting dividends for that.
You talk about dividends. I mean, when you look at the season so far, we're almost at the halfway mark. So for the Diggers, for me, they've played 6 games so far. They're heading into their 7th game. When you talk about the first round, what is the main focus for the coaches and the players? Of course, setting the foundation. Of course, things haven't gone according to plan for the Diggers. But they also will be watching the 2nd round quite closely just after the July break as well. What are some of the areas that they'll be looking to sharpen up before we head into that season break?
Before they go into that break, the biggest thing is going to be to get a win. They would like to get a win. I'm sure David Jordan, as a new coach, will want to come in, see the changes that is produced, and get a W for the team as well. We need to also note they are in a rebuilding phase. They're getting used to the type of play. They're getting used to the teams that they're playing against. Also, the competition's a lot tougher. So the mindset and what we've seen, the changes that David has brought to the team, he's going on the right track. All that he needs now is just to get a win or 2 to really build momentum. And I think today is a prime opportunity for that. They're in a rebuilding phase. It's going to take a bit of time. You're going to take a few losses. but getting a W here and there is going to be really important to them. So I'm keen for that.
You talk about the W there. Of course, when you play at home, the Wanderers will always have a little extra sense of pressure, playing in front of their local supporters, looking for that first victory. I mean, the supporters are absolutely packed this afternoon. The environment is quite buzzing as well. But just psychologically, when you are playing at home, how does one handle the pressure? Because you know that the supporters are expecting a victory and things haven't necessarily gone according to plan this season. How do they turn it up this afternoon playing at home?
We always make mention of the 16th man, and that is your supporters. Being at home, home field advantage, this is where you train, you're used to the environment. So for them, we know it's still early in their season, technically. So they're going to have to just stuck to what they've done throughout this pre-season, stick to the structures, and as I mentioned, stay disciplined. That has cost them last week. So they really want to give the fans that came out this afternoon to support them, give them something to cheer about, something, as you mentioned, before we go into this break, for them to build on and restart their season. So there's no other way. Win by any means necessary this afternoon.
Win by any means necessary. That is the focus this afternoon for the Wanderers. But of course, the one thing I would also like to touch on when you look at this big encounter is the fact that club rugby is such a vital component of South African rugby. And I mean, when I think of club rugby as an opportunity for you to showcase your skills, let's talk about the grassroots and the focus of this afternoon. These young lads have an opportunity to maybe show off to the scouts that are sitting in the stands, to those that might be looking for new players. I mean, we know that the Lions are up the road as well. The importance of club rugby in South Africa, and especially this competition being such a beautiful platform for young players to show coaches that we're here to play some good rugby.
For sure, Aaron, it's the heartbeat of South African rugby, as we've said throughout. And now these players have the opportunity to showcase that, have it broadcasted, be in the eyes. So there's really opportunity for them to show off their skills, where they might have had an opportunity. We know we all need to get to this thing called adulting at some point in time. And for that, they now have an opportunity to get back, do what they love, show that. And if something comes of this, that's great. But this is rugby where you can see it's for the love of the game.
Yeah.
And with that, when you enjoy yourself, you're out with your mates, you're out with your family on a Saturday, there's ample opportunity for anything to happen after this. But it's really applying yourself, knowing that's a team sport first of all, and through that you'll shine through and definitely give yourself the opportunity for higher honours.
Most certainly, it is a big one. Round number 7 in the Castle Lager Pirates Grand Challenge. It is the home team, the Wanderers, that are taking on the Diggers this afternoon at the Wanderers Rugby Club. In terms of the action, you can catch it live on SABC Sport, and of course, it's a special broadcast by Heritage Rugby. Let's watch the lads run out. It is going to be a big one right here at the Wanderers. Happy.
Two tries, boys. That's it. Let's go, Chiefs! Your ball, your ball. Yeah, man! Let's go, Chiefs! One more, boys! One more try, boys! We're trying now, boys. Good scrum for Dell! Good scrum, boys! Let's go, Carl! Let's go, boys! Let's make sure! Let's go, Chiefs! Okay, Chiefs! Come on, Fidel! Come on, Chiefs, man! Come on, boys! Here we go, boys! Come on, ref. Come on, ref. DTT Ch. Come on, ref. Come on, ref. Thank you. Jeez. Scrum them. Say that thing, boy. Where's the yellow? The pods. The pods. The pods. Daniel, where's the yellows? Come on, Dick. Let's go for that.
Welcome to the Wanderers. It is yet another big afternoon in terms of the Castle Lager Pirates Grand Challenge. Week number 7. It is the home team, the Wanderers, that are taking on the Diggers. Quickly looking at the team sheet for the visiting team. First, we've got the man that we've known all too well throughout the season, Fabian Big Mac. He'll be wearing the number 1 jersey in terms of that forward pack. We've got Van der Walt as well as Jones. We've got Ferreira as well. Looking at Dlamini in terms of number 7, as well as Graft, their captain, moving to 8th man. Of course, a man that we know all too well in terms of his kicking for the Diggers, that's Hubert, as well as Vucht. He's such a vital component in terms of being their center. In terms of the man who always scores tries for the Diggers, that is Twala. He's had an absolutely fantastic season for the Diggers as well.
Oh, great season, as you mentioned there, from Twala. But on the side of the Wanderers this afternoon, the home side, in the backdrop of the magnificent DP Worldwide Wanderers Cricket Stadium, we look at the side of the Wanderers, the home team this afternoon. Donning the number 1 jersey is Glass, Anderson, Gallagher, Zulu, September and Steed, Dyer, and then also Miele finishing off the forward pack. Then we look at Greg Blom, who's going to be looking to leading his charges this afternoon, getting them in the right areas of the field. And at the back, another crucial player for them is Kriel, donning the 13 jersey. He'll be looking to make an impact and make his presence felt this afternoon.
I mean, looking at these two teams, just looking at the dynamics of the competition so far, week number 7 is definitely a big one for these two teams. Both teams haven't secured a single victory. I mean, the Wanderers, they currently find themselves 8th on the log standings. The Diggers, unfortunately, have played 6 games, but they haven't won a single game throughout this whole season. Fabian, in terms of the importance of this encounter, we talk about winning momentum. Unfortunately, both these teams have had none throughout the season. They'll want to prove a point this afternoon.
Definitely wanting to prove a point, Aaron. As we mentioned in the build-up, the Wanderers side, they've only played 3 games, so still fairly fresh. They're coming off a 3-week break, and that could also not count in your favor. You could be a bit lackluster in the start of the game, and that's why I think the team of the Diggers should really capitalize this afternoon and make sure that they really get the W, get their season on the way, because the Wanderers still has game in hands. They can still make up for lost time.
In terms of the bomb squad, that's how we know it in South Africa, the substitutions. The men, that make an impact in the second half. Starting off with the Diggers, we've got Wells, we've got Zwane, we've got Otto, as well as Vangu. Some of the players that Jordan will be looking to make an impact in the second half. I mean, when the lads get tired, you always have an opportunity to make an impact and show the coach that maybe in the next game you should be in the starting 15.
100%, Aaron. You want to make use of that opportunity, and we've seen that throughout this. And Don definitely looks like a coach who's rewarding players for hard work and improvement, as we've seen second team players coming into the first team for this weekend's game, and a lot of talk around that changes and how that's benefited them. But we talk about a bomb squad and making an impact. Player to look out for on the side of Wanderers is Dudley White Sharpley, player who's played at UJ previously. He has some experience at provincial level playing for the Lions in their junior teams. So he'll be coming off the bench, and I can assure you, with his boot, with his stepping ability and identification of space, someone who the Wanderers side is going to depend on to get them through this game.
I mean, you talk about the substitutions in terms of the Wanderers. I mean, for a second there I saw Speckman, and a part of me got a little bit excited. I thought it was Roscoe Speckman, but that's Mark Speckman as well. But this is also a good opportunity to play fast running rugby as we talk about the men that can actually showcase their speed this afternoon. So often in this competition we've spoke about conditions. At the start of the season there was a lot of rain where teams had to rely on a slower game. Now that we're moving into the winter time, I mean, there's less rain in South Africa, so we're set to see a lot more fast running rugby, which is important because that's entertainment for the supporters that come out to watch the rugby.
No, you don't want to come and see a tennis match. That's definitely why these supporters didn't come up to watch a tennis match and kicking. They want to see some running rugby this afternoon. And if we look at both of these teams, we've had a good look at the Digger side. We know they can run the ball. We know they can score tries as well. And from what we've heard and seen briefly from this Wanderers outfit, yes, they've got some big men up front, but when you look at the back line, they really have some playmakers, and that will make for an entertaining afternoon this afternoon, Aaron.
You look at the Diggers outfit, that's a team that so often throughout the season, we've watched them quite closely, but their defense has really been a big talking point. You look at their first few encounters, they were knocked by like 80 points, but they've gotten really better when you look at their last few encounters. In terms of their defensive structure, how important will that be this afternoon just to contain the Wanderers, and when they have opportunities, capitalize on those opportunities as well?
A huge improvement, and it's been a huge area of focus for them, Aaron, as we watch the lads run onto the field. And we can see that improvement has taken place under the leadership of Jordan and his Chargers. We've seen score lines and the losing margin decrease over the last couple of weeks for this Diggers outfit. So definitely new systems being put in place, new defensive structures, and hopefully this afternoon for them, they'll be able to continue on that trend.
Exciting times right here at the Wanderers Rugby Club. As you saw, the lads just run out for round number 7 of the Castle Lager Pirates Grand Challenge. The home team, the Wanderers, they'll be looking for their first victory of the season. They've played 3 matches so far, so this one is possibly the opportunity for them to secure a victory. In terms of the Diggers, a team that played in the 2nd division last season, they're up in the 1st division, but they're at the bottom of the log. So this is an opportunity for them to showcase that they can compete against the boys who have played in the 1st division for the last few years. Big encounter lying ahead at the Wanderers Rugby Club. The stands are filled, lots of supporters coming out to support their local team. We're starting the game in this encounter.
Oh, it looks like we're just waiting for one crucial player to take the field, and that is our Gilbert rugby ball.
That's the most crucial player.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't play a game of rugby without the ball, hey?
Oh, not at all. So we just have a short little intermission here while we wait for our last player to take the field.
It's quite exciting. You can see that all the supporters are smiling from ear to ear. Again, showcasing how much South Africans love their club rugby and how important it is to the community.
Oh, definitely community coming together. Nothing more pleasant to come through watching the afternoon sun, enjoying the bit of sun that Joburg is still yet to experience as we get this game underway.
Hubert from the Diggers kicking us off. The Diggers finding touch. We speak 16th man.
An early mistake there from the home team, not being able to secure that kickoff from Nick Hubert. An opportunity here for this Diggers outfit to really assert their dominance early in this game, as we see them opting for a shortened line out, and captain Graaf finding himself.
The Diggers are on the scoreboard as they dominate the pace, the energy at the Wanderers. Exciting try there. We spoke about him in the build-up, Fabian, Twala, a man that you can't give too many opportunities. Once he sees the gap, he turns on those burners and he just keeps on going and going and going. In that moment, of course, he offloaded to Hubert, a vital player in terms of their team as well. And then the try being converted as well. Using those opportunities, an area that they've struggled with throughout the season, Fabian.
For sure, we mentioned they had a great opportunity, the ball not being gathered clearly by this Wanderers outfit, but Twala doing great work there, spotting that half gap, spotting a mismatch and putting on the afterburners. But really the support play that stood out for me as well, Aaron, making sure that they get in support of their players and making sure they get the 3 points.
It is 7 points to the Diggers, the visiting team. Unfortunately, the Wanderers, the home team, they're still on 0, just a few minutes into this encounter. Fabian, it's so important. Earlier on, we spoke about using your opportunities. The Diggers, so early on in this encounter, showing us that yes, they fixed their defense in terms of their previous encounter, but now they also have the at the right time as well.
Yeah, making right decision at the right time, as we see Vogt gathering that one. Turnover ball for the Wanderers, but penalized, not releasing the player after the tackle was clearly completed. As you mentioned, Aaron, as we watch Nick Hubert trying to find touch here, Wanderers really not using that opportunity, but the Diggers side, as they've showed improved defense, also showing their attacking capabilities, making sure that they convert that first opportunity into a full house of points for this afternoon.
An opportunity yet again for the Diggers, a line-out opportunity that is. It is the Diggers with the ball in hand. Line out there. In hand. He offloads to their skipper, Richard Graft, wearing the 8th jersey, 8th man this afternoon. Dukeba, strong carry, gaining vital meters here from the Diggers. Wanderers scrambling at the moment. Got the momentum. Turnover ball here by the Wanderers. Intercepted by the Diggers. Ntuli asking questions of this Wanderers defense. Wanderers breathing a sigh of tap. Back as that.
Yeah, very excited, and we can see like a really strong line of defense from this Wanderers outfit, just a bit high on the initial tackle, but still getting in, making sure that they get that turnover. Brief intercept from Jacob Gepner on the left wing for Diggers, but then turned over again. But unfortunately, Diggers at that breakdown, just going straight off their feet, as it was a good contest from this Wanderers outfit. Just one of the Wanderers players down at the moment, receiving some attention.
Injuries being a part of the game, but also these lads are putting their bodies on the line. I mean, when you talk about commitment, they're fully committed to hard contact rugby this afternoon, and that's also exciting to see. But of course, the injury side of things, something that no one wants to see.
No, fully committed this afternoon, Aaron, as we've seen. Like this Wanderers outfit we mentioned in the build-up, they've got a really solid pack of forwards, and they're able to utilize that and making sure that in the defensive line, they're actually able to get up slightly high on the initial hit, but looking to make a body hit and actually holding the player up. And they've seen some dividends from that in the form of a penalty at the moment, and that ball not finding touch.
Hubert looking for touch, unfortunately not finding touch. The Wanderers with ball in hand. Some fast running rugby. The man with the quick feet. The Diggers, you can see the excitement this afternoon. You can see in their body language. They've got the confidence at this point in time. We're about 10 minutes into this encounter right here at the Wanderers. Another big opportunity here for the Diggers. It is line out time. Poorly executed line out by the Diggers. Wanderers with ball in hand. They're looking to run the ball. Wanderers securing the penalty. Decision-making time, Fabian, we talk about it so often. It's about 45 meters out. Simple option. Kick into touch. Get a great line-out execution. Maybe a rolling maul. Opportunities, Fabian.
Opportunities, Aaron, but at this point, as we mentioned in the build-up, you only need a win. It's win at all costs this afternoon. And I think this Wanderers side needs to throw everything and the kitchen sink at this one to make sure that they get the W across the line. So they'll be looking to pay dividends, as we saw Diggers taking their first opportunity, getting points on the board. Wanderers will be looking to the exact same right here, as will be Rory Anderson looking to find Zulu. And it does so successfully, setting up the driving maul for this Wanderers outfit. Penalty, Wanderers, and quickly taken by Anthony Gallagher, the tight head prop, as they make their way into the Diggers 22. And that's the third consecutive penalty here in the Diggers half. Really giving this outfit, the Wanderers outfit, an opportunity to get points on the board. Quick tap by the Wanderers side. Gaining valuable meters for this Wanderers outfit as there's the forwards coming around the corner, working hard again. Slow ball out to the backs. And it's a knock on in the midfield. Turnover to Diggers. As we see a break there, but massive hit stopping him right in his tracks. Penalty, Diggers. Much needed relief there for this Diggers outfit, getting themselves out of danger and really showing their commitment on defense.
One of the areas where the Diggers have truly improved throughout the season is their defensive structure, and of course proving yet again in that situation where the Wanderers were so close, about 5 meters out from their try line, that they have been working on their defense, making the right decision such a vital component, especially when you're so deep into your own territory. Unfortunately for the Wanderers, they're the team that about 10 minutes into this encounter so far, they trail by 7 points so far. They haven't scored a single point. Those are the opportunities that they need to use this afternoon. Unfortunately, poorly executed line out there by the Diggers. The big back, the man that got excited, he saw an opportunity there. Unfortunately, the ref calling them back for a scrum. Fabian, we haven't seen too many scrums in this encounter. It's still early on. Of course, both these outfits will be looking to assert their dominance, just muscling their opponents, because scrums are such an important part of the game.
Important part of the game, and it's really where you can assert your dominance, gain some momentum, and really stamp your authority on this one. So from both sides, they'll be looking to make their presence felt here. You can also look at the side of Wanderers, Anthony Gallagher, a man who's played numerous years at UJ, playing in Varsity Cup as well. So they'll be drawing experience from that, and we can see that just that experience on the tight end side for Wanderers, making sure they're securing that penalty. Really going to be an area of great contest this afternoon between Anthony Gallagher and Big Mac on the side of Diggers.
Great execution there of the scrum. The Wanderers handling their business in terms of the first scrum of this encounter. Blom kicks the ball into touch. Great touch finder there for the Wanderers. This is definitely an opportunity about 22 meters away from the Diggers try line.
Second opportunity here for Wanderers, Aaron. Diggers really fronted up on that first visit for Wanderers in the 22, looking to do the same here. But it's Anderson finding Zulu successfully, again setting up that driving maul, and it's rolling at the moment as we see Anderson sitting right at the back of that driving maul, looking very comfortable.
This ball continues to go and go and go, and the Wanderers exiting that maul beautifully. They secure their first try this afternoon. The man, Jake Glass, from the back of the scrum, he was positioned so beautifully, and he handled the business, securing the ball, finding that gap, and he handled his business. That first the first try for the Wanderers this afternoon.
Brilliantly orchestrated maul there from this Wanderers outfit, Aaron. From the get-go, they had momentum, and everything that followed, the Diggers just didn't have no answer, or any answer for that whatsoever. So they'll be looking to regroup for this one. But wonderfully taken opportunity from this Wanderers outfit, getting their fans something to cheer about and getting the scoreboard ticking for them this afternoon.
Blom stands over this ball, looking to add 2 more points to their tally. Unfortunately, that conversion not going according to plan for Blom. Looking at this encounter so far at the Wanderers Rugby Club, it is 5 points to the home team. The Wanderers, the Diggers, they've got the slight advantage at this point in time. They're currently on 7 points. Looking at this encounter so far, Fabian, quite an exciting one. Both teams hungry for tries. We have seen the Diggers, their defense has improved. But of course in that moment, the Wanderers have shown that you can't open any gaps because they will most certainly capitalize.
Definitely, Aaron, that driving ball, but it all started with a dominant scrum from this Wanderers outfit as we see the game getting back underway and beautifully secured by this Wanderers team as there's a half break from the man Chambin going through looking for support, and he finds that.
Chambin spreading the ball. Malembe, the man securing the try for the Wanderers. Their second try. We spoke about the fact that you can't give this team an opportunity. 2 quick tries. The Wanderers supporters, they're smiling from ear to ear.
Smiling ear to ear, Aaron. It's a great kickoff receipt firstly starting, but then also this lazy defense from Diggers, opening opportunity for Chambin coming through with the half break. Brilliant support play. And as we saw the man Malambe going over for his try, first try of this encounter this afternoon. And it will be Greg Blom looking to secure the additional 2 points for Wanderers.
Blom unfortunately missed that first conversion. He'll be looking to trust his process and slot away the second opportunity for the 2 points. Unfortunately, struggling this afternoon so far, but he's got tons of time to fix all of that. Looking at the score line, the Wanderers, they've scored 2 tries. They find themselves on 10 points. The Diggers are on 7 points.
2 quick tries from this Wanderers outfit, just showing the intent and desperation this afternoon. But very crucial, those kicks from Blom not converting, and that's 4 points left on the field. That might prove crucial at the later stages of this game.
Hubert. Big lads in the forward pack, hey, for the Wanderers.
Very, very big lads. And speaking of big lads, the biggest man on the side of the Diggers is Big Mac. By no surprise, judging from his name, but he'll be breathing a sigh of relief. Just a bit of a sloppy play at the back of that ruck, but yet still managing to retain ball possession for his side. And it'll be a midfield scrum here, Aaron. Prime attacking opportunity for this Diggers outfit, but yet we've seen what Anthony Galaga did in that first scrum, really dominating on the tight end side for this Wanderers outfit. So I'm sure they're going to have a full go at this one to try and convert that possession. But another, as I mentioned, attacking opportunity here for Diggers. Be interesting to get the ball in the hands of Twala once again and get a one-on-one matchup with the try scorer for Wanderers, Malebe, and see how that pans out for them.
Pace being the name of the game, but also one area where both these teams have truly impressed me is the fact that their forward packs have really been a vital part of this game. I think when you look at the Diggers, their previous games, yes, they could play some fast running rugby from the back, but their defense was always a massive question mark. And they've been improved so much throughout the season.
Improved. They come on in leaps and bounds, actually, Aaron. We were there to see their first game, and we, unfortunately, not their last, but we looked at the scoreline. I mean, there was a few 90s, few 80s, and that's running in a lot of tries, but defending and keeping an outfit like Raiders last weekend to only 35 points is really an impressive outing, and we can see exactly why. So they'll be looking to do that for the full 80 minutes here this afternoon, but so far, so good. Being able to keep the Diggers, this Wanderers side out, 1 or 2 lapses in defense, but nothing that structural changes can't fix.
It is Godwin with ball in hand for the Diggers. They'll be looking to showcase their muscles in the scrum. That first scrum most certainly dominated by the Wanderers. The Diggers will be looking to fix their mistakes. Godwin with ball in hand. He feeds the scrum. Yet again, another scrum going the way of the Wanderers. An area that they most certainly asserting their dominance in this encounter.
And it's again that man we spoke about, Anthony Galaga, getting the high fives from this Wanderers forward pack, making sure on that occasion he kept straight, applied the pressure, and Arthur Jones had no other place to go but scrum in and conceding that penalty.
Fabian, this looks almost like a copy and paste, very similar to that first try that we saw from the Wanderers. It was a scrum that they won. Blom kicked into touch. They used that line out, great rolling maul, and they were able to score the try as well. Could we see the same?
Copy-paste. Copy-paste for sure. As we see that and say that, Zulu securing that one for Wanderers, and it's Anderson sitting beautifully at the back again.
Great rolling maul here by the Wanderers. Quick tap by the Wanderers, looking to test this defensive line of the Diggers. They're patient and they build up, looking to spread the ball. Anderson, the big man, the man that we've complimented throughout this game so far. He says, not only can I execute the lineouts, but I can also score tries as well. Great execution by the Wanderers as they secure their third try for this afternoon.
A great execution, you mentioned it there, Aaron, but beautifully broken away there by Steed from the initial maul. And then all that, the tight forwards for this Wanderers outfit, staying on the blind, set play, playing back to the blind side, Diggers overfolding, and Anderson getting just reward for a beautifully orchestrated play.
Fabian, maybe we complimented this defensive structure of the Diggers too soon. They seem to be leaking tries at the moment. This is also an opportunity for their skipper, Richard Kraft, to call the lads together and just call them to order a little bit, because I'm sure they've had the discussion already during their practice session this week.
Oh, definitely. For me, it's still early stages. Yes, they're conceding tries. It's as we draw to the 27th minute of this game. It's 15 points to Wanderers, 7 to that of Diggers, and they leaked a couple of tries, but nothing that they can't fix. We also know they're an 80-minute team. That scoreline can't get too far ahead, so they'll be looking to come back in this game, getting more points on the board, just building that scoreboard pressure, staying within touch. But what the Wanderers side has done so beautifully is starving them of ball possession, and you can't play rugby without the ball and putting them on the back foot, Aaron.
One area that might be a concern for the Wanderers is just those 6 points that have gone a begging by Blom, unfortunately not converting those opportunities. Hopefully towards the latter part of this game, they don't lose because of the points that were missed this afternoon. Wanderers with ball in hand. Great running rugby on the far side.
What a finish. Tebogo going for the swan dive in the corner. One-handed put down, and I'm sure the referee will have to check this with his assistant ref.
Tebogo, the man wearing the number 14 jersey.
Unfortunately knocking that one on, Aaron, going for the magic one. But just not able to pull that off. But they've got an opportunity again to put this Digger side under pressure. But beautiful play from Wanderers out of their own half. Campbell Blaine with the initial break. And unfortunately, Tebogo not being able to finish that one off.
Looking at the first two scrums that we saw in this encounter, it was the Wanderers that were able to dominate those two scrums. They're about 5 meters away from the Diggers try line. Are we expecting more of the same, Fabian?
More of the same, Aaron. Put them under, as soon as that ball is fed, put them under huge pressure.
We spoke about it.
Unfortunately, this time penalty going the other way and in favor of the Digger side. Referee just indicating there that the initial shove was not straight from Wanderers, but really wheeling that scrum. As they say in the rugby circles, you need to earn that right and earn the turn. And in that side, at that instance, just too quick from Wanderers.
Most certainly, as you bad finds touch here for the Diggers. Fabian, let's talk about the importance of not reacting too early when you are in that scrum, because I think so often, I mean, given the heat of the game, given the pace of the game, you want to assert your dominance quite quickly. You know that you've got the momentum. You won the first two scrums as well. Just that ability for you to remain calm is so vital in those key moments.
Very vital, and you want to stay calm. You want to absorb the initial hit and then really apply on the pressure. So you want to make sure your back five, the front rows, this lays a foundation. The back five brings the pressure, but also knowing when that needs to happen to really put on pressure and try and get dominance in that facet of play.
In terms of the scoreboard, we are about 30 minutes into this encounter so far. The home team, they're smiling from ear to ear this afternoon. They've scored 3 tries. They're on 15 points. The Diggers, they reacted quite quickly. They were the first team to get points on the board, but since then, they haven't been able to score any points so far, but they are on 7 points. Still within touching distance, Fabian. They can still make an impact in this game.
100% still within touching distance. That is, we're looking for a good exit here out of their half, get into that of Diggers, and as we see a solid scrum from Diggers at that time round, cleared by Graaf at the back.
Hubert not finding touch. Wanderers gathering the ball. Blaine getting great meters there for the Wanderers. Wanderers still with ball in hand. Great carry there by September. Wanderers asking questions of this Diggers defense. Looking for their 4th try. Intercepted by Hubert. He's turning on the afterburner, seeing opportunities. Brought down is Hubert, gaining about 40 meters for the Diggers. Wanderers looking to turn over this ball. It's held up at the moment. The Diggers, unfortunately, turning over the ball there. The Wanderers, they've got ball in hand. Here's the Wanderers. They keep on moving. He keeps on going and going and going. And a fantastic try. Malebe smiling from ear to ear. His 2nd try of the afternoon.
From ear to ear, Aaron, and end-to-end stuff. Intercept by Hubert at the one end. Ball gets turned over on the Wanderers 22, and Malebe making them pay for lazy defense there. But also a big shout needs to go to Tebogo, who was down in back play. Sure that the Diggers side got an interception, and he was the one who made the initial hit on Nick Hubert actually, and support play coming through, getting that turnover for this Wanderers outfit, but beautifully finished off by Malembe.
Malembe giving this crowd something to smile about. I mean, as a player, when you score a try in that fashion, I mean, it gives you an opportunity to flex your muscle, showcase your skills, and add your 2nd try. That's absolutely fantastic from this Wanderers outfit so far.
We should be on 28 points, bro. We're chilling.
Unfortunately, yet another conversion not going according to plan in this encounter. The Wanderers, they've scored 4 tries in this encounter so far. They're on 20 points. The Diggers, maybe they started too quickly. You can see it in their body language, looking a little bit tired as we reach the latter part of this first half. They're on 7 points.
As we said, just a penalty awarded, and once again discipline on the side of Diggers, letting them down, conceding that penalty after conceding a try as well. Referee bringing them back, and yet another opportunity for Wanderers to get points on the board, and they've really capitalized this afternoon, using every opportunity they've been given. The first one got a begging, but since then, Aaron, they've really made sure that they put points on the board with every visit.
The only area that you can fault this Wanderers outfit this afternoon is just kicking from the kicking tee, but everything else has gone according to plan. As we see another line out by the Wanderers. The Diggers securing the penalty.
guy gets a yellow card, which is the normal way. Like him. I was 24.
Quick tap kick here by the Diggers. Great offload there by the Diggers. Wanderers looking for the turnover. Diggers still with ball in hand. Dooley not being able to gain a few meters on that one.
You know what? Diggers able to clear their line here, just ill discipline aside of Wanderers this time round. Not wrapping in that tackle, and Jubert with a great touch finder.
We do have 4 minutes left in this first half. Let's talk about Coach Jordan of the Diggers. What are some of the areas that at halftime he'll be addressing with his lads? Yes, they started well, but within the first 10 minutes of this game, the Wanderers started dominating and their momentum just carried them throughout this encounter. I mean, going from struggling in the first 10 minutes to scoring 4 tries is brilliant, as we see a great line out here by the Diggers. They're looking for that rolling maul. The big lads from the Wanderers pushing back. That maul gaining 5 meters and it continues to go. Patience we're seeing from the Diggers. Godwin spreading the ball to Hubert. Vught, great carry. Godwin returning to the other side of the field.
All the play just happening behind the gain line at this moment in time for Diggers, as we see a little half break, but still all behind the advantage line. And just reward for brilliant defensive effort from Wanderers, putting pressure on this Diggers outfit and just not getting any gain line momentum and really playing on the back foot.
Wanderers playing with a very, very high defensive line. But the good thing is they haven't been leaking any tries. So their defensive line has got a lot of confidence, closing those gaps. Great touch finder here by Blom. Yes, he might have struggled off the kicking tee, but finding touch is not a problem. Going back to that question, Fabian, just Jordan, some of the areas that he'll be focusing on during his halftime chat as the Diggers look to make their way back in the second half, putting some points on the board. They're trailing at the moment.
Well, they'll be looking, the biggest thing would be effort on defense, Aaron. You can see whenever there's a line break or a half break, they're just not really working hard in scramble defense, trying to get back. From set phases, they've struggled. As we see another driving ball here, really struggled to stop that. So that they've been leaking tries. As it's another getting scored here by Wanderers this afternoon. Rory Anderson getting his second from the driving ball for Wanderers. And back to your question, Aaron, they've really struggled and their effort on defense just really hasn't been shown to what they actually can do. So they'll be looking just to get back. They'll obviously have some insight as to what to do. You don't want to kick to this back three. If you are going to kick to them, you want to make it contestable as well. Don't get one-on-one opportunities, and the inside defender for this Diggers defensive line is going to become crucial, as we've seen a couple of half breaks from this Wanderers side.
Most certainly. Another opportunity here for the Wanderers to add 2 more points. Blom stands over the ball. He's missed 3 so far this afternoon. He'll be looking to get his first, gaining a little bit of confidence heading into the second half. Unfortunately, Fabian, it seems that today is not his day, but in terms of the scoreboard, he's not feeling the pressure yet. His team is leading 25 points to the Wanderers, 7 points to the Diggers. There's 1 minute left in this first half. In terms of the Wanderers, some of the areas that their coach will be looking to address, of course, kicking being a great concern. Is there any other area on your side that you have identified?
At this point in time, Diggers just hasn't put them under enough pressure. Yes, they had a slow start, but we mentioned that after a 3-week layoff, that is to be expected. But so far, they've really put down a flawless performance. As I say that, restarts might be one of those you might want to address, putting the commentators' curse on them again. But restarts definitely getting something is something they might want to contest and make sure that they get right in the second half. And that just gives a prime opportunity here as we've already reached the halftime mark. And as we say, you can see an interesting decision here from the Diggers outfit, opting to get points on the board rather than try and get a try scoring opportunity. So they're obviously feeling the pressure a bit, knowing what this defensive line has done for Wanderers this afternoon, and trying to build some scoreboard pressure to really stay within touching distance, as this Wanderers outfit has left 10 points out on the field already.
Most certainly, Fabian. It is the fly half for the Diggers. Hubert, he stands over this ball. He's converted his first opportunity this afternoon, looking for his second with 3 points. Oh, unfortunately, the ball striking the uprights. Wanderers with ball in hand, looking to run the ball out of their territory. Their big boys carrying the ball so beautifully. Stead with a great carry there for the Wanderers. They secure the penalty.
Just another unnecessary penalty conceded there from Diggers, and it looks like in the process as well, Kieran Ferreira done himself a miss there, getting stuck in that truck and playing the ball on the ground. But it looks like this Wanderers outfit is full of running this afternoon, Aaron. They don't look to end and go into this halftime break. They've obviously had a decent enough rest over the last 3 weeks, and they're looking to get as many points on the board and really work on that scoreboard and that points difference going into the latter stage of the competition. Playing for playoff spots might just be the differentiating factor, whether you make it or not.
We talk about luck being a part of sports. We also talk about you create your own luck. Unfortunately, Hubert, the man who's kicked so well throughout this competition, I mean, in terms of his rotational play, I mean, he's such a utility player, and we have seen Coach Jordan using him throughout the season. I mean, he started playing at fullback, now he's at fly half, but unfortunately in that moment, things not going according to plan. 3 points could have easily been converted there. Not a fault of his own, I would say. Unfortunately, just 1 or 2 centimeters out there, the ball striking the post there.
Quick tap by Wanderers, as we mentioned, full of running, and it's Campbell's. Blaine's pass just not going to hand at the moment, but a quick throw by Diggers. Fortunately, referee going to be calling them back for this line out. But as you mentioned that, Aaron, Nick Hubert's his attempt at goal just coming off the upright, but once again, the chasing of this Diggers outfit just non-existent, as if everyone just expected it to go over, and that's the effort that will be addressed during the halftime break from your Don, I'm sure, because that's where you want to have your chasers up. So should anything happen, regardless of whether your kicker is sound, and in that moment they just were half asleep.
Most certainly wasted opportunity, but this is a big opportunity here for the Diggers. Line out time. Great steal there by the Wanderers. They're looking to spread that ball, looking for opportunities. Great carry by the 8th man, Mihlale. Wanderers patient. Turnover by the Diggers. Tap and chase.
Just a knock on there by Wanderers as the referee brings them back for the scrum. As we draw to the closing minutes of this first half, an opportunity for Diggers to get out of their half.
It is the Diggers. They've got ball in hand. Godwin, there's scrummy. He'll be looking to feed the scrum quickly. Great dominance there by the Wanderers throughout this first half. They've completely out-muscled the Diggers at scrum time.
Completely out-muscling them again, Aaron. It's the man Anthony Galaga, as we've said so often throughout this afternoon's encounter, winning that penalty for them on the tight end side with a 5-meter line out here from this Diggers try line. They were looking to keep out Wanderers and not concede any points going into this halftime break.
We spoke about it before, when you've got your forward pack smiling from ear to ear, pumping their chest, pushing back their shoulders. That's when you can be a little bit concerned, because that's a big part of the game. When you're winning scrums, you're winning lineouts, half the job is done. And for the Wanderers, they're scoring tries as well. They've already scored 5 this afternoon.
You know, Aaron, scoring tries, be asserting your dominance, not just in your own ball, but also that of the opposition. As we see that line, unfortunately, not just going to hand, but it's still Wanderers with ball in hand in the Diggers 22.
Wanderers, they've got the ball in hand, asking questions of this defensive line by the Diggers. Quick turnover there. Diggers, they can breathe a sigh of relief. Godwin spreading the ball. They're choosing to run the ball out of their defensive areas. Diggers finding the gap. Risky play here by the Diggers. They secure the penalty.
Oh, risky play, Aaron, but paying off for them in the form of a penalty, as they can breathe a sigh of relief. And Nick Hubert looking to get through. But great carry there from Thuli, the blindside flanker for Diggers, really making sure one of their few carries that was getting them over the advantage line for this afternoon.
Gibert with ball in hand. He'll be looking for touch. The ball flying over our heads here. Great touch finder by Hubert. Always a vital component of this Diggers outfit. As we draw closer to the end of this first half, some of the key players that have stood out for you, Fabian, from this Wanderers outfit.
From this Wanderers, as we've seen, they've got magnificent try-scoring capabilities in the back three, especially that back three that's made up from Tebogo, Campbell, and Malebe, who scored a brace this afternoon. So really, between the three of them, sparking this attack for Wanderers, this Wanderers outfit this afternoon.
Wanderers with ball in hand. Oh! Late tackle there.
Unfortunately, the man Ferreira just going through with that tackle, but just one of those unfortunate ones, Aaron, that does happen in the game. But immediately you realize that the player was in danger of possibly injuring himself, and it's Zakiwa on the side of Wanderers that's also been instrumental this afternoon. It's really sparking the attacking play, organizing the forwards, knowing when to play their pods or when to go to the back line. He's really impressed this afternoon as well.
He's been one of the shining lights of this Wanderers outfit. Some of the other key players throughout this afternoon, specifically for the Diggers, one has to highlight Hubert, such a vital component of their team. He's almost a general in that number 10 fly half jersey, making decisions, choosing when to run the ball, but also being so important when it comes to the kicking tee. Slotted away that conversion that gave him the 2 points after the try, and unfortunately being so unlucky with that penalty as well. But he's got tons of opportunities in the second half that lies ahead. Great scrum here, yet again by the Wanderers. They've got the advantage already. Blom spreading that ball. Blaine asking questions. Yet again, Hubert being involved for the Diggers. Oh. Almost intercepted there by the Diggers. Not shying away, not sitting back, Fabian.
not shying away, not sitting back, as you mentioned, Aaron. But one thing that the Wanderers side is not shying away from is the physical confrontation in this game, and one of those areas is the scrum. And on that instance, the amount of pressure being applied, the Diggers prop just not even able to get a proper bind, but really why the penalty was conceded. So really using that strength of theirs and something that's going to be a deadly weapon for them going forward in this competition.
Blom, in that opportunity, showing the intent of this Wanderers outfit, that could have easily been an opportunity for him to kick for the poles, improving his strike rate this afternoon. But he's showing that the Wanderers want to entertain their local supporters. They've scored 5 tries and they're looking for number 6. Great line out here by the Wanderers, setting up that rolling maul. The Diggers, they're pushing back, not allowing the Wanderers to outmuscle them as they've done so many times throughout this game so far. The Wanderers, they've still got the ball in hand. Diggers looking for the turnover.
Massive carry there by Dudley Steed, bulldozing his way forward.
Wanderers continue to ask questions. Diggers scrambling at the moment. Wanderers building the phases as they look for more opportunities. They scrummy, spreading that ball to Blaine. He gains about 2 meters. Spreading that ball to the left-hand side of the field. Diggers being quite impressive in terms of their defensive structures. Blom, quick feet. Diggers closing those gaps. Got about 15 phases here as we see Anderson securing his 3rd try of the game. Hat-trick on the board for the Wanderers, courtesy of Anderson.
And what a way to get your hat-trick for this afternoon, showing some brilliant footwork from the big guy in the midfield, twinkle toes, and going over for his 3rd.
Exciting times right here at the Wanderers Rugby Club. The Wanderers, they're smiling from ear to ear. I mean, when your forward pack is scoring tries, you know that the Diggers are struggling this afternoon.
Oh, definitely struggling, Aaron. We praise their defensive work and defensive effort, but we also haven't seen a lot of this Wanderers outfit throughout this season. And definitely from what we've seen this afternoon, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with going forward in this competition.
The one thing that stood out for me in terms of that build-up for their 6th try was how patient they were in terms of building the phases. They were quite patient. I think about 12 to 15 phases in that setup for that try, and just that beautiful offload to Anderson, securing that 6th try for the Wanderers.
Well, just a patient build-up there, Aaron, as you mentioned, being able to go through the phases, making sure that they're able to retain possession as well, getting good go forward, and that's what really helped them throughout this game. They're able to do not always breach the defensive line of the Diggers outfit, but always gaining momentum, putting the defensive line on the back foot, and being able then to spot the gap and really capitalize on that.
We are seeing the ref chatting to the skippers. It's not clear as to the directive that is given at the moment, but we have seen the ref doing quite well in this encounter. It's always high pressure situations. You do expect the ref to make the right decisions at the right time, and he's done so every single time. But there is a lot that Richard Graaf will be chatting to his lads about. They're currently trailing in this encounter, having started so well. Their defensive line being questioned. Blom finally getting the conversion over for his team, securing the 1st one for this afternoon.
And finally securing that one. I'm sure he'll be breathing a sigh of relief just to get the 1st one over. They always say the most difficult kick is the one right in front, but he made that one count, giving him some confidence going into the 2nd half, Aaron, to try and just get the additional points that we know are so crucial, as we've seen throughout this competition. 80-minute performances that's needed and those points could prove crucial in the latter or dying stages of this game.
It is half-time right here at the Wanderers Rugby Club. The home team, the Wanderers, they lead this one by 32 points to 7 points. The Diggers, the visiting team, they started so well in that first half, Fabian, but unfortunately things not going according to plan in terms of that first try that was scored. That went the way of the Diggers. Hubert converting the 2 points. At that point in time, we believed that the Diggers will most certainly dominate this encounter. Some of their key players, definitely Hubert being the standout player. I mean, such a utility player, moving from fullback to the 10th jersey. Some of the other players that stood out for you from this Diggers outfit, I think Big Mac, always such a big part of that forward pack as well.
Oh, for sure, Aaron. A lot of players that have stood out, but really just not Diggers being able to put a complete performance together. They started so beautifully, really capitalizing on the initial opportunity, getting points on the board, really had their tails up. And it was a slight glimmer that they might run away with this one, but Wanderers really coming back and showing that they had some other intentions for this one. But as we're talking about players that have stood out for this Diggers outfit, we've mentioned Big Mac, we've mentioned Graaf and Hubert, but also Nduli on the blindside flank for this Diggers side has really proved that he's putting in the effort, putting in the half graft, and one of the few men for them that's been able to get across that gain line and get some gain line advantage for them, as we've seen a strong defensive effort from this Wanderers side this afternoon.
Most certainly, you talk about key players there for the Diggers, players like Nduli, players like Hubert. We have to shine a spotlight on some of the men that have really done well for this Wanderers outfit. I mean, first and foremost, you need to talk about how they've completely dominated the scrum. You look at Glass, you look at Anderson, you look at players like Zulu that were also vital in terms of their lineouts as well. But the shining light, at least for me this afternoon, is a player like Anderson. I mean, when he's executing the lineouts quite well, that's a box that he's happy to tick. And when it comes to scrum time, he's leading that forward pack. But the one thing that surprises me so often is the fact that forwards can also score tries. And he delivered a hat-trick in that first half, and that's always beautiful to see. And so often, Fabian, you've talked about it, when you see the forward pack smiling, pumping their chest, pushing their shoulders back, you know that you're going to have a long afternoon. And Anderson has been one of the players that have been vital to that part for the Wanderers.
No, Aaron, I like a dominant forward pack. I like when forwards get in the game, get involved, and really show that we as forwards can do a lot more than just scrum and lineouts. And Anderson proving to be just that this afternoon for this Wanderers outfit. But what has really stood out from Anderson is the fact that he's executed his basics well. He's ensured that the line-out ball has been crisp. His scrums, they've just dominated this afternoon. And that's when you're able to get to a driving ball and you're able to execute it like they've done, and he's reaped the rewards for that. So really great play by them. But also another mention is Anthony Galaga on the tight head side of this Wanderers outfit. He's been able this afternoon to just manipulate that scrum in his way and really get penalties for this outfit. So really great play by those players within the forward pack. And if you look at some of the backline players that have stood out, Greg Blom hasn't had the best afternoon from the kicking tee, but he's made up with that in his general play. Kicking for touch, directing the team, making sure that information is passed through and they really play within the right areas of the field. And another one of that has been Tebogo, who scored a brace as well. The right winger for this Wanderers outfit, showing his pace and just his physicality to ensure that he gets across the try line.
Exactly, one of the areas that we need to also highlight from this Wanderers outfit, and we spoke about it quite early on, we spoke about the copy and paste, how they go from scrum time, they win the scrum, Blom gets the ball, he kicks into touch, and then from that line out, just the way they position their rolling ball, that has been almost a great tactic that they've used because it's worked twice already. And you can see that once that rolling ball gets that momentum, the Diggers are completely scrambling and they're struggling to deal with the physicality from the Wanderers.
Yeah, you mentioned copy and paste, and it's something that they've identified clearly. That's the strength of theirs. Something that they've played to magnificently this afternoon, whether it's a brilliant kick, touch finder first of all from that penalty, then set up of the driving ball. And really, as you mentioned, once the driving ball starts rolling, the Diggers side is just on the back foot from the word go, and there's no way from recovery because you're so close to your try line as well. So there's really no stopping that ball, and they've just used that to their advantage. I do believe we'll see more of the same in the second half from this Wanderers outfit. And although we're praising them, there has been some areas where they could possibly work on as well. Restarts and kick-off receipts being just one of them. They haven't been able to be flawless from that area, as we've seen. That's how the Digger side actually got an opportunity to get into their half and score their first try. And also, it's when you've achieved and get points on the board, you don't want to concede a penalty or unnecessarily play within your half. We've seen our teams have been punished for that. So that's something they'll want to be looking at coming into the second half, and really just make sure that they copy what they've done in this first half. It's worked for them. Whether Diggers will have an answer for that in the second half, we're yet to see. But I do believe this Wanderers outfit will be able to respond.
In terms of some of the substitutions, we talk about the bomb squad, players that can make an impact. I mean, when you look at this Diggers outfit, you've got players like Wells, you've got players like Zwane, Otto, as well as Sibia, some of the key players that we have for this Diggers outfit as well. In terms of the Wanderers, the name that got me excited earlier on, Speckman, not Roscoe this time. It is Mark Speckman as well as Chris Moore as well. Any of the players that really stand out for you, Fabian?
Yeah, staying on the side of Wanderers, I see Dudley White Sharpley has made his way onto the field as well in the number 21 jersey, so that's going to be interesting to see him doing his thing in the second half as the game opens up as well. We've noted how the back three has had great opportunity to attack, so that's going to be good to see. And also on the side of Diggers is Jacob Gepner, who's made his way onto the field on the left wing side for Diggers, a man who's shown in the past couple of games has really committed, and he's got pace aplenty as well. So they'll be looking to give him some one-on-one opportunities and get him into the open field in the second half.
You spoke about some of the areas where the Wanderers can improve. Looking at the second half, the Diggers, they've got quite a few areas where they can improve. Maybe some of the areas that you believe Jordan might have discussed with them at halftime as we see them running onto the field for the second half.
Something that's been quite surprising this game, we spoke about their defensive effort, but also their scrums, which we've known to, or we've become known to be quite a strength of theirs this afternoon, has just been non-existent. So that will be a starting point as well as the lineouts. So really just set phase play, making sure that you secure possession from those plays and then giving yourself an opportunity. So I think it's just a complete reset. Like, it's the second half, you've got 40 minutes to up your game, Aaron, and then really and put yourself in a good position to get the W this afternoon.
We are right here at the Wanderers Rugby Club. It is week number 7 of the Castleaga Pirates Grand Challenge. Heading into the second half here at the Wanderers. The home team, the Wanderers, they find themselves on 32 points. The visitors, the Diggers, they're just on 7 points as we start the second half. Blom with ball in hand. He'll be restarting the game for us. Great take by the Diggers under the high ball. Patient moving out of their territory. Their skipper, Richard Graft. Great carry. Godwin spreads the ball to Hubert. Up and under. Blaine securing that ball for the Wanderers. Wanderers driving forward.
Big carry there by Anthony Gallagher, gaining some more forward momentum for Wanderers as we see more of the same from Stead.
Glass, great carry, gaining a meter or two for the Wanderers. Wanderers securing the penalty. Decision-making time, Fabian.
Decision-making time, and I'm sure they're just going to opt for the line-out here. It's going to be interesting to see what Blom decides. He hasn't had the best afternoon from the kicking tee, so opting for touch, not a bad option here for them as well. Unfortunately, just a stoppage in play as we see Zulu down in back play. On that initial hit from the kickoff that was gathered by Van Rensburg, he just seemed to have injured himself there. I'm sure just a bit of ice, magic ice in that matter would get him right. And he's all good and back up in play. But as I mentioned, Aaron, kick for touch, that driving ball has been working working beautifully for them this afternoon, and sure to see dividends coming back from that.
Another copy and paste opportunity here. Kick into touch. Great execution by Anderson in terms of the line out. Rolling maul is what we're expecting, Fabian. But one of the areas where the Wanderers have truly surprised me is how patient they are in terms of building up their play, building about, let's say, 7 to 10 phases, being patient, not rushing their decisions, always looking to find the right man.
Always looking to find the right man, and the right man is found there in the form of Zulu, again from the hat-trick man Anderson, as we watch this rolling ball continue on. But brilliant defense from this Diggers outfit, able to stop the rolling ball. The man making his way through the middle there is Ntuli, who we praised during the halftime break for his efforts, and definitely something that was obviously addressed during the halftime break, Aaron, and we see there Ntuli making sure that he steps up and stopping that ball, because we were certain that was another 5-pointer coming up for this Wanderers side.
They scored 2 tries in the first half from that rolling maul. Definitely an area that Jordan addressed with this Diggers outfit, and it seems that the lads have really taken his advice and were able to stop yet another try there, because yet again Anderson was positioned so nicely at the back of that scrum, looking for yet an opportunity, as we're seeing a man down at this point in time. Yet another injury concern.
As we wait for the player to recover there, this is not the start that Digger side would have wanted for the first stanza of the second half. They're back under pressure again, not able to clear their own try line from that kickoff receipt. So really just a build-up of pressure, and what this Wanderers side has done really well as well. They've stayed disciplined. You've mentioned that they've been patient in the build-up to their tries, where they've built up multiple phases, but also a very structured approach to the attacking play as well, which is I've been impressed with this afternoon between Blom and his scrum half partner Sokiwa, really directing their troops in the right way this afternoon, and they put the points on the board. So I'm sure we'll see more of the same this second half.
It is Sokiwa. He's got the ball in hand for the Wanderers. He'll be looking to feed the scrum quickly. Sokiwa taking his time at the back of that rolling maul. Sokiwa spreads the ball. Blom being involved in this opportunity. Sokiwa spreads the ball again. Mostert securing try number 7 for this Wanderers outfit. You can't stop this machine. It continues to go and go and go. And if you give them an opportunity, they'll almost certainly make you pay, Fabian.
No, this Wanderers machine is just keeping on rolling, Aaron. But worth mentioning, in the build-up to this try, we spoke about Sokiwa and Blom, but it's just the ruck speed of this Wanderers side when they get into the 22 of Diggers. There's really, at times, one player, at most 2 players cleaning that ruck, and for the first 2 rucks that was set up there, no player actually clearing the ball there. And Sokiwa just that quick ball to play with, really catching this Digger side constantly on the back foot, and just wave after wave of attack, and Mostert going over for the 5-pointer as we look at Blom.
Blom looking to improve his kicking record for this afternoon. Unfortunately, maybe this is not his day, but in terms of open play, he's been absolutely fantastic, and that's where you have to definitely compliment this Wanderers outfit. They find themselves on 37 points. It is the Diggers, they're still on 7 points. Hubert with ball in hand for the Diggers. Great take by the Wanderers. Wanderers. Blom spreading that ball. looking for opportunities on that right-hand side. Malebe asking questions. Big hit there by the Wanderers. Big Mac, unfortunately, getting the worst end of that contact. Turnover here by the Diggers, but penalty going the way of the Wanderers.
And now, unfortunately, Diggers not able to get their hands on the ball there, and just as they attempted that, knocking that ball on the floor, and it's Wanderers with another opportunity there. It was the man Anthony Galaga looking to get into open space, but unfortunately, just getting in the way was the player of this Diggers outfit, as a tight head prop probably had about 30 meters of open space in front of him there, Aaron.
Scrum time. An area that we spoke about in the first half, an area that the Wanderers dominated. They'll be looking for more of the same in the second half. The Diggers, they're about 30 meters away from their try line. They'll be looking to outmuscle the Wanderers. Wanderers being patient with their scrum.
Dylan Mostert there with another powerful run, but unfortunately just stepping into touch as he tried to get that ball away to Dudley on the inside. But another force to be reckoned with seems to be Mostert on the right wing for this Wanderers outfit, really just dominating his man there, but unfortunately stepping into touch.
Great line out here by the Diggers. They're choosing to run the ball out of their territory. Wanderers asking questions. Godwin spreads the ball to Hubert. Kicks the ball deep. Blaine secures the ball for the Wanderers.
He gives it off to Tebogo. Back inside to Tebogo, and Tebogo over for his second of this afternoon. Apologies, it's Malebe who makes his way over for his second try of this afternoon.
Malebe, a man that we spoke about so often in that first half, a man that you definitely can't give any opportunities. We saw that great offload to Malebe, and he didn't ask any other questions. He saw the try line and he delivered.
Saw the try line delivered, but also worth mentioning, Aaron, as we discussed during this halftime break, the back three of this Wanderers outfit, when it comes to counter-attack play, they really seem to have a great understanding between the three of them, knowing when to attack, when to kick, which player is in space, and really identifying opportunity as well, as we saw there from Blaine, getting Malebe into space on that occasion.
In terms of the kicking team, we are seeing a change here from the Wanderers. Great conversion here by the Wanderers. It is Sharpley, the man who adds 2 more points for this Wanderers outfit. They find themselves now on 44 points. It is the Diggers. Unfortunately, they are still just on 7 points.
Sharpley making his presence felt early, making his way onto the field. Mentioned him beforehand, also discussed during the halftime break the impact that the benches will have in the closing stages of this game, and Dudley White Sharpley definitely proving so, coming onto the field and making sure that he secures the 2 points for this Wanderers outfit. As we see Nick Hubert getting ready to get us underway. It is 44 points to Wanderers to 7 for the Diggers as we close in on the 52nd minute of this encounter. Bit of a fumble from September on that kickoff, but he secures brilliantly. Unfortunately knocked on in the tackle.
It is the Diggers. They've got ball in hand. They're looking to run it, and a massive hit here by the Wanderers, reminding the Diggers that this is our home. If you want to score your second try, you'll have to make your way maybe around me. Otherwise, You definitely can't run through me.
There's nothing there, Aaron. Zulu standing his ground on that occasion. Some might argue he had the height, had the weight advantage, smaller guy, but he didn't move an inch on that hit. Might have been a bit high, but solid hit on the chest, and really just making a statement here this afternoon, Aaron.
Fabian, I'm reminded of WWE, SmackDown and Raw, man. Those are massive, massive hits.
Look, Aaron, I must tell you, I feel a lot safer being up in the stadium, behind the table, even behind the screen. So I think we're okay.
Zulu, he means business this afternoon. Another opportunity here for the Diggers at scrum time. Godwin with ball in hand. Quick feed here by the Diggers. They secure the penalty. Quick tap by Godwin. Spreading that ball. Referee calling them back. You can hear the Diggers bench getting involved, not being happy with what they're seeing on the field. It's that time again, as we see on screen at the moment, where we remind the players to show off their rugby skills and not their boxing skills on the field, as the ref calls them back for another scrum.
Others calls them back, but brilliant effort there from this Diggers outfit. We've seen complete dominance the first 50 minutes of this encounter in the scrum area, but on that occasion, Diggers showing that they also have some scrumming capabilities, as we see Hubert getting them into the half of this Wanderers outfit, and it will be Van der Walt to be looking to find his jumpers to really lay a foundation and get that driving ball going and underway.
Great touch finder there by Hubert. The Diggers just have to use these opportunities. That will be the most important component for them. Van der Walt, the man with ball in hand. They've struggled with the execution of their lineouts, and as I say that, it's quite a scrappy lineout, but they still have the ball, is the Diggers. Diggers still with ball in hand. They're looking to spread the ball. Godwin with ball in hand, spreads it to Hubert. Another big hit by this Wanderers outfit. Yo. Wow. We spoke about WWE moves here.
As we just
Godwin
look at the replay.
was looking to spread the ball there by the Diggers. Massive hit. The 8th man. Mihle. Yo, big man in this forward pack for the Wanderers. First it was a big hit by Zulu. Mihle reminding the Diggers that, hey, it's going to be a long afternoon. We're here to play some physical rugby this afternoon.
Physical rugby for sure, Aaron. We spoke about that hit on Zulu earlier, a bit of an unfair matchup, but this time round, fairly equal in height, size between Mihle and Frucht of the Diggers, and definitely Mihle coming off the better on that occasion, making sure that he puts in the hit and stopping that play, stopping Frucht right in his tracks. I do believe he's just a bit winded, hopefully nothing, as we take another look at that hit on Frucht.
Hey. Yo, Fabian, that looks like a WWE spear to me.
Now look, if I recall correctly, it was Edge who used to spear the guy.
It was Edge.
Those were the two guys in WWE used to quite enjoy illustrating that move as their finishing move. And I'm sure if we had to have a ref on the field that could do a count of 3, he would have made his way to 10.
Yeah. Trust me, Frucht won't want to be reminded about that one.
I know, it's going to be a tough video session on Monday evening.
Great touch finder here by Blom.
Brilliant touch finder there by Blom as this Wanderers side marches their way into this Diggers half. We're looking to put the killer blow on this encounter.
We are 56 minutes into this encounter. Poorly executed line out there by the Wanderers. Diggers kicking the ball high, looking to chase for the ball.
Great play there by Jacob Gebner, the left wing for this Diggers outfit, identifying space out in the backfield and making sure that they capitalize on that. Obviously, Wanderers on attack, but from that turnover, all their players up in the attacking line and ample space in the backfield for Diggers to get to, as it is Van der Walt to be looking to find his jumpers.
Another opportunity for Van der Walt. He went for the short line out there. Diggers, Godwin, perfect positioning, looking to spread that ball. Wanderers, quick tap. Stead gaining about 10 meters there. The ball not going to hand for the Wanderers. Diggers getting excited there, but ref calling them back.
Players down all over the place at the moment for this Diggers outfit, and no surprise, it is the big men up front. They've had a tough afternoon, having to stop this force to be reckoned with in the form of the Wanderers forward pack.
One of the key players that has really brought in a lot of energy for this Wanderers outfit. We talk about your bench players being able to inject a lot of energy into your outfit as the legs get tired. One of those key players, Fabian, has been Sharply. He's been so important, and he's also quick on his feet as well. Just that injection of pace and energy being so key for the Wanderers as they're looking to close off this encounter.
Yeah, that's the type of player you want coming off the bench, Aaron. You've watched the first 40 minutes, you're able to identify what's going on, and when you get the opportunity, you want to make sure that you really contribute to the effort. Also important to mention, Sharply did play sevens rugby for huge part of his career for UJ as well. So obviously you can see that identification of space, awareness of space, knowing where to get his players into space as well. Now playing straight on the scrum half position, so really a great injection and really well done by Sharply since he's been on the field.
Sharply, the man with ball in hand, was looking to feed that scrum. Collapse of the scrum there. They'll be looking to reset. Club rugby at its finest, Fabian. You can hear the supporters.
No, it's definitely Aaron, club rugby at its finest. It seems like the supporters have found their voice, but they've been given that reason by this Wanderers outfit, the home side this afternoon, giving their supporters something to cheer about. Not just something, really a dominant performance thus far as we draw near to the 60th minute of this encounter.
Sharply with ball in hand, he feeds the scrum. Positioned perfectly at the back of that scrum. Wanderers looking to spread the ball, looking for opportunities. Oh, unfortunately that ball not going to hand. Mostert, he could see the try line there. He's already scored a try in this one. Got a little bit excited there.
Yeah, something worth noting, Aaron, is that the last couple of plays, the Wanderers side just haven't been able to finish off. Passes not sticking, maybe being too adventurous in their play, taking one or two risks. But with the scoreline like 44 points to 7, you're allowed to experiment a little bit. But it's really crucial. I just like to see them draw it back a little bit, back to basics, go to what has worked. If the pass is not on, don't force it. We have to set up the ruck and really get back to that structured play that we saw in the first half.
Most certainly. We spoke about it at the start of the game. Both these teams have struggled throughout the season. Both of them chasing their first victory of the season. The Wanderers moving closer and closer to that victory as we see Godwin feeding the scrum here for the Diggers. Hubert with ball in hand. Oh, the ball not going to hand for the Wanderers. It is the 13-man Kriel who gets yet another try for the Wanderers as they continue to add more points. As you can see in the replay here, it was the Diggers, Hubert, who had ball in hand there, trying to find his man in the back line, but that pass not going to hand, and you can't give the Wanderers any opportunity. Kriel pouncing, scoring his first try of the encounter.
Oh, brilliant work there from this Wanderers outfit, actually just living off the scraps as well, just showing the intent as we watch the conversion there from Sharply, adding another 2 points to this tally as we see the points now ticking over into the 50s, 51 points to 7 for the Wanderers side.
We've got about 19 minutes left in this encounter right here at the Wanderers Rugby Club. The Diggers, we complimented them in the first 10 minutes of the game. They started so well, but unfortunately since then it has been the Wanderers that have had all the momentum, especially in the second half.
All the momentum, and there's just another coach killer, just discipline. The kicker, the players of Diggers in front of the kicker from the restart, and that's really been something, as we mentioned in the halftime break, Aaron, effort. And that's all about effort and discipline, making sure that you stay on side, making sure that you make the effort to get back in the defensive line. And you can see it's really, really disappointing to see that. But something that has been encouraging is they fronted up in the scrums the second half. And the dominance that we saw within the first half from Wanderers has sort of been subdued. So that's something positive to take away from this one for them.
Most certainly, sharply, with ball in hand. Another scrum opportunity, pardon me, for this Wanderers outfit. Feeds the scrum. Diggers struggling in that scrum contest. Mostert with ball in hand. The Diggers using their 16th man, Fabian. Using the touch line.
The 16th man, Aaron, as we've come to know, come to love, never disappoints, always makes his tackle, and brilliantly done again. Mostert, unfortunately, out of the field of play, bringing that attacking move to an end.
It's so interesting to see in the second half how the Wanderers have almost like been reliant on the combination of Sharpley as well as Mostert moving the ball to the right-hand side of the field. Mostert being such a fast player, a player that knows how to convert those gaps into 5 points.
No, definitely, Aaron. What you can note from that is obviously Mostert, the bigger and the more physical of the two wingers at the moment. So what they're trying to do is really gain momentum on this right-hand side, get opportunity and create the space on the opposite end for Malebe, where he's able to attack.
Wanderers securing the penalty there. Will be another scrum.
Scrum down, Wanderers here. It'll be interesting to see how they set up with this attacking play. Previous two scrums in this area of the field, Dudley White sharply has opted to come to the right-hand side and play Mostert, who's unfortunately been in touch on those occasions. This time a lot bigger open side to play with, so I'm sure we can see a set play here coming up, as we've seen a positional change and substitution made in the back line of the Wanderers outfit. Sia Tiny has made his way onto the field, and it's the man Campbell Blaine who's moved into the outside center position.
Sharply with ball in hand for the Wanderers. Referee taking charge of the scrum, correcting their positioning. During these moments, Fabian, towards the latter part of the game, the body is a little bit tired, concentration isn't necessarily there, but it's so important that you focus on those basics, because you don't want to cost your team or cost the scrum in these situations.
Oh, for sure, Aaron, and also, as you mentioned, basics, the name of the game, as we see both sides have actually had two fresh front rows on the field. The only man that survived from the opening half for this Diggers outfit is Arthur Jones, that's still on the field. So he'll be feeling the pinch at this point in time, and no surprise rather that the referee is standing on that side of the scrum, wanting to get them to set up properly, get your feet up, but really on the initial hit on the side of Diggers, they're not taking that hit, so you want to bring your feet a bit closer, get your back five a bit tighter, and really not push as hard on that initial hit.
Sharply with ball in hand for the Wanderers, he feeds the scrum. Great scrum here by the Wanderers. More of the same, Fabian.
More of the same, slow poison as they call it. And that scrum almost just looked like a driving ball from the initial hit. As soon as the ball was put into that scrum, you could just see them going, as we see Blom finding another good touch finder here, and I'm sure we can see another driving ball coming up. Should the man Speckman come on to the field in the hooker position, find his jumpers.
The Wanderers, they've been able to use their lineouts quite effectively throughout this encounter. They'll be looking for more of the same. What we've seen in the first half is they go from lineouts into a rolling maul. Will they execute it the same?
How are you going to look at that guy in a real tape for the rest of the
Sharply spreading that ball to the right hand side of the field.
Just a little knock on there at that ruck on the floor there. Unfortunately for the Wanderers outfit, but a bit of a sigh of relief for Diggers. They'll have an opportunity to clear their scrum. Unfortunately, they have a scrum coming up, an area where they've really struggled in the last couple of minutes with this Wanderers side applying the pressure. And I'm sure Wanderers will be going full out at this one as well. Get possession back and get more points on the board.
The Wanderers have got nothing to lose but everything to gain, and they have dominated the scrums throughout this encounter. Godwin with ball in hand for the Diggers. Yet again, penalty going the way of the Diggers. They spread the ball quite quickly, looking to run it out of their territory. Twala, the man with ball in hand.
Unfortunately, Twala in that attempt of a tackle, just losing that ball forward as he was looking to launch a counter-attack with Ube on his outside. But scrum time, Wanderers. As we look at the guys getting ready to set up this scrum, we are at the Wanderers Rugby Club this afternoon as the sun's setting with about 10 minutes left in this encounter. It's the Wanderers leading Diggers 55 points to 7.
Sharply, the man with ball in hand. Got about 11 minutes left in this encounter. We spoke about it at the start of this big battle. Both teams looking for their first victory, and the manner in which the Wanderers have done it, their coach will be quite happy this afternoon, securing their first W of the season. It did take quite some time. They lost their first 3 games, and they'll be happy with this one. Fabian.
Happy with this one, and another scrum which they'll be happy about. Advantage play to Wanderers.
Blom looking for the grabber kick. That one not going according to plan. Ref was playing advantage. Wanderers, they've got yet another opportunity to add to their tally. One thing that we can mention about this Diggers outfit is we complimented their defensive structure early on. We spoke about how in their previous battle they only conceded about 38 points. But unfortunately, when you look at this tally, yet again, another massive tally going against them. So it seems that they have slightly gone backwards in this encounter in terms of their defensive effort and making the right decisions when they have to defend.
They really struggled this afternoon, Aaron. We praised them in the beginning. And I think it's just the manner in which the Wanderers have starved them of possession. They haven't had any real possession to build confidence, get their tails up, make sure that they get into this game. As we see a turnover there, a counter-attack launched by Diggers.
Twala. Chip and chase. Not finding touch there. The Wanderers with ball in hand. Sharply spreading the ball. The Diggers, they have to make these opportunities count as they run straight into contact. Godwin spreads that ball. Richard Graft, their skipper, gaining a few meters. Godwin perfectly positioned to continue to spread that ball. Vught asking questions of this Wanderers defense. Diggers, penalty going their way, quick chip. They've got the advantage, here's the Diggers.
I'm sure we're able to see a yellow card here. Aaron, very surprised if it won't be. Just cynical play from Dylan Mostert at that time, not being 10 back. Looks like the referee will just be giving a general warning to this Wanderers outfit. But as mentioned, Aaron, Diggers really haven't put this Wanderers line or attacking line under any form of pressure. And this late in the game, really seeing that they could have gotten some dividends should they have had any ball possession, played in the right areas of the field, and really played with some intent during that first 40 minutes.
We spoke about it, the Diggers, they're a team that can deliver an 80 minutes performance. They've got 8 minutes left in this encounter. That great touch finder there by Hubert, an opportunity that they have to convert, even though the scoreboard might not necessarily be looking in their favor, but these are moments and opportunities that they need to use, because confidence from one try can lead into more confidence for a second or possibly a third try.
For sure, Aaron, at this point of the game, there's no coming back given the scoreline, but going into your next encounter, the new systems that you've put in place, you want to build confidence on that as we see them getting over the gain line here.
Great carry there by Otto. Godwin, ball in hand. Being patient in their build-up is the Diggers. Dooley, the man who's played so well for the Diggers. Great carry, gaining about 2 meters there for them.
Unfortunately, Vught just knocking that one on, and in the manner in which he was trying to grab that ball out of the air and really tuck it, you can see, I'm sure he had some glimpses of what happened earlier with his attempt to get across the gain line, nearly being cut in half, and you can see he was obviously worried about the defender more than catching the ball in that instance, and bringing this attacking play for the Diggers to an end, sadly, as it would be Wanderers looking to clear out of their half.
He was worried about Miche there. That's the man who reminded him, who's playing at home earlier on. Sharply with ball in hand here for the Wanderers. About 6 minutes left in this encounter. They're deep within their territory. He feeds the scrum.
Won't be surprised if they run this one, Aaron.
Spreads the ball to Blom. Wanderers looking for space. It is Sia, Tiny. Oh, that ball not going according to plan, but the Wanderers, they've still got ball in hand. What an absolutely fantastic try. He had to muscle his way through there. As we see the replay. Capturing that ball. After that ball didn't go according to plan. Canbrant securing yet another try for the Wanderers.
Power play there from Canberra, but really impressive to see the set play from that scrum, Aaron, with the initial break coming from Blaine, and then power play at the end by Chambern, leaving 2 defenders in the wake.
2 more points being added by the Wanderers. Sharply, the man who's done so well. 4 minutes left in this encounter. The home team, the Wanderers, they find themselves on 58 points. The Diggers, they still have that single try that they scored in the first half and the conversion. They're just on 7 points. Quite an entertaining encounter here this afternoon, Fabian. Supporters have had something to smile about. Their home team securing their first victory of the season. Tons of fast running rugby from the Wanderers this afternoon as they secure the high ball. Van der Walt stopping his man there. Wanderers finding that gap yet again. It is Sharpley, the man who can run fast. He keeps on going, and he goes and he goes. Offloading to Sia, Tiny. Yet again, the Wanderers add to their tally. Opportunities being given by the Diggers. Sharpley, as we watch the replay, a man who's played some sevens rugby, a man who's got tons of pace, saw the try line. Twala, the man putting in a great defensive effort by the Diggers. Sharply offloading to Sia Tiny as he converts for an easy try for the Wanderers.
Easy try, but just brilliant play there, and also selfless play, it needs to be mentioned, from Sharpley. Not trying to go all the way, really putting in a good effort, but brilliant cross-cover defense there from Twala as well. Not giving up this late in the game, still putting in the effort. But then the man Tiny, who's made his way onto the field, going over this time round for his try, first try of this encounter.
Sharply stands over the ball, looking for the conversion. Unfortunately, not going according to plan. An area that the Wanderers will be discussing after this encounter is definitely their kicking, but in terms of the scoreboard, 2 minutes left. Wanderers, the home team, they're smiling from ear to ear. They've got 63 points. The Diggers, they've just got 7 points on the scoreboard.
And I'm sure Sharpley will be excused for that one. Probably still have a bit of lactic acid after that 40-meter sprint built up there, so that kick not going as planned, but he's been brilliant from the kicking tee since he's made his way onto the field.
Restart here by Hubert. Unfortunately, Wanderers not securing the high ball.
And it's Blaine just playing that ball in an offside position. And I'm sure...
Quick tap from the Diggers. It is Jones looking to break this defensive line for the Diggers. Godwin spreading the ball.
Slow
Diggers
ball.
being patient in their build-up, building the phases. Yet again, Jones trying to muscle his way through. Advantage being given by the ref to the Diggers. Hubert spreading that ball. Fantastic try coming back in this encounter. It is the man that wears the number 22 jersey for the Diggers. Jacob getting the try here for the Diggers. As we look at the replay here, the ref gave the advantage to the Diggers. Hubert spreading that ball so beautifully to Jacob, and he made no mistake pushing that one defender out the way as he gets the second try for the Diggers this afternoon. Looking to end this game on a high note at least. A little bit of momentum heading into their next encounter, even though the scoreboard is not in their favor.
Oh, for sure, Aaron. On that occasion, they always say the ball is the fastest player on the field, and the pass there from Hubert crisp to his outside to Gepner, beating the last defender in the form of Mutole, and going over for their second try of the encounter, Jacob Gepner for Diggers.
Hubert, the man that has kicked so well in this encounter and throughout the season, had a few opportunities today. Yet another one right here. Unfortunately, the kicking tee, Fabian, has been a struggle for both teams this afternoon. At the Wanderers Rugby Club, last few minutes of the game, Wanderers are on 63 points. The Diggers securing their second try. They're on 12 points as we near the end of this encounter. Diggers securing the high ball. choosing to run the ball out of their territory is the Diggers. Godwin being patient in terms of finding the right man. Hubert gaining 1 or 2 meters. Hey! He'll be lucky not to get a yellow card for that lift.
I know, very lucky there.
After the ref had already blown the whistle, that could have easily been a yellow card for the Diggers.
Quick tap by Godwin again.
Oh. Diggers looking for the quick tap. Ref calling them back. Quick tap by Godwin.
Julie making his way down into Wanderers territory.
Diggers, pardon me, they spread the ball. They skipper, Graft. Fantastic try by Graft. A man that has worked so hard throughout this encounter. As we see the replay here. Great offload. Richard Graft holding on to that ball, having to muscle his way all the way to the try line and securing the 3rd try for the Diggers this afternoon.
Third try for the Diggers this afternoon, but real great initiative shown there from Jacob Gepner as well. Getting the initial break, the man we've spoken about so often, Tuli, coming up with a support play and then really just finished off by Graaf leading from the front, as he's done this entire afternoon for Diggers.
Quick change here in terms of the kickers for the Diggers. They brought in their scrummy to kick that conversion, unfortunately not going according to plan. That's how it comes to an end. Week number 7 right here at the Wanderers Rugby Club. The Wanderers securing their first victory of the season, beating the Diggers with a massive 63-17 scoreline. Fabian, exciting encounter right here at the Wanderers Rugby Club. Beautiful results for the supporters. We can hear them singing in the background. First victory, they're happy. The Wanderers coach will be happy, and some great momentum heading into the next encounter.
And what a way to come back after 3 weeks of being on a break, only playing 3 games in this competition already, and just showing exactly what their intent is and the quality outfit that they are, and posing a real threat in this competition. So the coaches will definitely be happy with this performance from this Wanderers outfit. Not so much that for the Diggers. Unfortunately, more work needs to be done for David Jordan and his charges.
Most certainly, I mean, when you look at the end of this encounter, one of the standout players, at least in my opinion, a player that I believe is deserving of the man of the match, is definitely Anderson. Such a vital component for this Wanderers outfit. You talk about how they dominated the scrum. That was a man who was leading that forward pack at line out time. He was able to execute every single time, finding his jumper in Zulu. And then he's also a man who scored a hat-trick of tries this afternoon. So that's most certainly a player that is deserving of the man of the match title this afternoon.
Well done to Rory Anderson, really deserving of that man of the match award during this encounter. As you mentioned, so often he's been at the back of the receiving end of the driving ball, making sure that you really secure that. But what has stood out this afternoon has really been his involvement within the set phases, being able to secure line-out ball, secure scrum ball, making sure that exactly within the right area of the field, there's no moments of flaws or moments of switch off, and you could really see his impact on the attacking side of things as well. We saw the man's got feet more so than he's got strength as well, so really impressive from Anderson, and well done to him on his man of the match award.
One of the big talking points in the second half is, Fabian, we can't avoid this. We have to talk about those big hits that we saw as well. We saw a man like Mihle, big hits from him on Vogt, as well as I believe it was Zulu who also had a big hit in that second half as well. A few WWE moves that we spoke about, but it's also about dominance as well. I mean, in those opportunities, you want to play a physical game. You want to show off the fact that you're not just easily going to walk over us in terms of our defensive structure.
No, we mentioned the size of this Wanderers back at the start of the game, and they really backed up that during this encounter. You mentioned Michle, the hit that he put in, and unfortunately it was the same receiving player as well for getting that hit and being on the receiving end as well. But it's been really impressive, and it stood out for me, the effort, the commitment that they've shown, the structured approach on the attack this afternoon, exposing this Diggers outfit who we've praised for the attacking or defensive prowess and improvement throughout this competition. But well done to this Wanderers outfit who's deserving winners here this afternoon.
Most certainly, in terms of some of the changes that Jordan has made to his Diggers outfit, one of the key changes, of course, moving their skipper from the hooker position, moving him to the number 8 jersey. I mean, a good move in terms of how he was able to command his presence in terms of the game, but also at the end of the game, he was the player who scored that last try for the Diggers as well. And it also shows again that one shouldn't give up. It's a team that can put in an 80-minute performance, and that's exactly what he showed, leading from the front, showing his boys that even though the scoreboard is not in our favor, one should never give up. Your analysis of his performance?
Yeah, really interesting to see that change. As we mentioned, we were speaking to him beforehand, and he mentioned that was one of the changes that he wanted to bring into the team, and really playing towards the strength of the players. So it just shows David Jordan knowing where his players will benefit, where they will fit into his game plan, and how he sees this team developing. But a concerning factor for me was, unfortunately, with one player playing towards their strengths and really seeing how that improved their attacking play. Van der Walt has struggled a bit in that hooker position, so that's still a gap that needing to be filled for this Diggers outfit to really get their set phases going. But moving Graaf to the 8 position, freeing him up a bit, getting him involved in the loose play, he's been great for them, getting them over the advantage line, and at the end showing just what benefit it will have for them getting over the try line as well.
Most certainly, one of the key talking points heading into this one for the Diggers is how their defense has improved. And yes, the defense showed that they've improved, but unfortunately it was just 10 and 15 minutes into this encounter. We complimented them how well they did in their previous encounter, just conceding about 38 points. But unfortunately, yet again, conceding a massive total of 63 points this afternoon. One of the key concerns for Jordan as well, heading into the rest of the season for this Diggers outfit.
Yeah, definitely a concern, Aaron. There's no two ways about that. Something that has shown improvement, which is great and which is positive for them. But this afternoon, once again, they were found lacking. And the biggest thing that we could see from the sideline was just their effort. Whenever there was a half break or where there was a line break, working back and getting into the defensive line. And that's really been lacking this afternoon. Another thing we didn't see this afternoon, which they displayed brilliantly that first 10-15 minutes in this encounter and also against Wits, was the line speed. They didn't come off the line at all in this encounter. So this Wanderers outfit had ample space to attack. And when you're running onto shoulders, it's a lot easier to get across the gain line. Unfortunately for Diggers, they just conceded meters after meters. And with an attacking side like Wanderers we see now, you can't afford that at all.
Most certainly, when you look at this Diggers outfit, one should always remember that they're a team that were playing in the 2nd division. This season, they've moved up to the 1st division. Even though this is their 7th loss of the season so far, we need to highlight some of the key players that are still putting in a solid effort. I mean, a player like Hubert, that's a player that has always done well wherever he plays in that back line, whether he's at fullback, whether he's at fly half, he continues to do so well for this Diggers outfit as well.
You know, Nick Hubert, a special player for this outfit. We've seen him throughout this season putting in magnificent performances on attack, both in defense, but also his leadership ability. He's really shown that he's one for the future, but one that this Diggers side really need, and they would look towards him going into this or latter stages of the competition to get their side on the right, or on the winning side of things. But something also worth mentioning, Aaron, is the fact that yes, they've taken a couple of losses. You've mentioned it's their first season in the Super A League, playing in this competition. So for me, these losses needs to be turned into lessons. There need to be takeaways from certain games where they're able to go and work on during the week and apply the following week. And then that's where you show improvement. We mentioned they are going to take a few knocks. Unfortunately for them, they're taking a few heavy blows, not just on the scoreboard, but on the field as well. So that's going to be something they want to be looking at. Make sure you take these lessons, convert them into something positive, and as you go into the second round, you're able to tick the boxes and slowly but surely get yourself back on track.
You talk about the lessons. I would like to highlight some of the areas where the Wanderers will be a little bit concerned about. We've complimented them throughout this game. They have had the ability to score a lot of tries as well. But unfortunately, kicking being a big concern for the Wanderers. I mean, we saw Blom, he started the game missing 3 conversions. Then we saw a change towards the latter part of the game. Him just making a decision to not kick, but he was still playing great. Some of the ways in which they can improve that area, or is Blom possibly not the man to kick, or maybe it's just a matter of confidence this afternoon. He can come back in the next encounter and do well.
No, unfortunately, Aaron, kicking on the practice field and kicking under pressure are 2 different things. And I think that was the first thing that was noticeable from him, because his kicks out of hand has been great. The way he dictated play for them was great. It was just his attempts at goal that didn't go as planned. Yes, he did get the one right in front that was pretty much a sitter for him, and he got his confidence back after that. But that's just going to take practice. Fortunately, it's a team sport, and we've seen whether that's international level, when the guys really back their structure, they're able to come back, and that's what we've shown, or what they've shown this afternoon. Regardless of the kicking tee not going as planned, we're still going to get points on the board. For them, we also saw Dudley White sharply coming on, really making a great impact. We mentioned him beforehand. He came onto the field, he sparked a lot of their plays, but also from the kicking tee, he showed that he is a backup. So they might not concern at this point in time. There is a backup, but I guess it is just going to take time in play for him just to find his groove and get back into it.
I love what you highlighted there, which is also such a key talking point as well, is the fact that this Wanderers outfit had a solid starting 15, but also in terms of the substitutions that they were able to bring on as well, almost gave an injection of energy and injection of pace. You look at some of the backline players like Sharpley that you've just mentioned, most of the man who also came on and scored an early try as well for him, and then a man with dreadlocks, a man with pace as well, Sia Tiny, he was able to be great in terms of supporting Sharpley as well, and when Sharpley needed the offload, he was there to grab the offload and score the try as well.
Yeah, great versatility from the bench of this Wanderers outfit. You mentioned a few players that has come onto the field, Sharpley, White, Mostert, as well as Tiny, but and similarly on that side of the Diggers. So is this showing once again how important benches and substitutions have become in this modern game of rugby, Aaron?
In terms of the Wanderers, they win this one with a massive margin of 63 to 17 points. Yet again, shining a massive spotlight on the man who was vital at scrum time, a man who executed his line out so beautifully, and a man who scored a hat-trick of tries this afternoon. It is Anderson who wins the man of the match. It is a wrap right here at the Wanderers Rugby Club. The Wanderers will be smiling from ear to ear as they secure their first victory of the season. They beat the Diggers with a 63 to 17 point scoreline. Thank you so much for joining us. We're back next week, same time, same place, as we continue our journey. It is the Castle Lager Pirates Grand Challenge.